I know my voice sounds like I'm kind of sick. Please forgive me. I got a whole bunch of tea next to me. All right, let's get into the thick of it. It's been more than 24 hours since the game dropped. Oh, too close. There we go. Perfect. It's more than 24 hours since the game dropped, and there have been a ton of discourse, arguments, controversy, a whole bunch of stuff that's happened about Crimson Desert. And I gotta say, I got a couple thoughts, but I'm not sure where I land 100% on all of it. So I'll say the easy part, which is I did consider refunding the game. I think that there is a good argument to be made for refunding it. I just think that there's a better argument to kind of try and stick with it, right? So there's a crowd on Reddit, the internet, Twitter, whatever, that's basically making the case that you just kind of need to stick with it until it gets good. Jake Baldino, Fighting Cowboy, they both mentioned that it takes a couple hours, takes a little bit of a learning curve about the controls, but eventually you kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think I'm in that camp for the most part. There is definitely a learning curve to the controls, and the controls don't lend themselves to be an easy pick up, easy get into kind of situation. But without a doubt, there's something to be said about the difficulty. Like, is a game supposed to be easy to pick up? I guess not every game is supposed to be, and if you're looking for a game that's easy to pick up, this may not be it. The second part is that there's just generally a bit of friction, and part of it is the controls, part of it is some input delay depending on what style of game you're running. So for example, if you're on PS5 Pro but you want to use the optimal settings versus the balance settings versus the quality settings, certain modes come back with different like input delay. There's some latency that's very visible. What's going on, gang? There's some very visible input delay when you play. Now, I'm playing on the PS5 Pro. I'm playing it on 4K 60. I'm playing it, the footage you're seeing today is captured at 1080p, though. I'm using the upgraded PSSR. Huh? Oh, I'm using the upgraded PSSR, so I'm using like the 2.0 version, like Digital Foundry called it. And honestly, the game looks good. After I did a 21 gigabyte patch download after the first hour of the game, I think it looks a lot better than what it did at the beginning. Now, does it look perfect? Is there some flicker every so often? Yes, but I think these things will generally work themselves out over time. I think that the bugs that are present in the game, it's a miracle they have as little as they do. The only bug I ran into in a couple hours of gameplay so far is I bumped into a dude, and mind you, my whole game is in English, both subtitles as well as spoken word, and the guy said something to me in English, aggressive, and then the subtitles popped up in Korean. And I was like, oh, I forgot I set the game to Korean.
Half what?
Call me a half. Yo, he's lucky I'm recording. So I don't know exactly when stuff like that will all be no longer in the game. I don't know whether the game is going to just see unlimited like small patches until it's finally clean, like a cyberpunk style type of thing. But I got faith. I got faith in the game's and especially the dev team's passion to be able to, you know, send some updates in and make it a lot cleaner of a game to play. Now, as far as design goes for the game, there's a couple things that kind of don't make sense to me, and I kind of see the vision though for what they're going for. This is very much a Red Dead Redemption 2 slow burn kind of game. I've seen other reviewers talk about how the team at Pearl Abyss basically just threw stuff at a wall and try to see what stuck. I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that. I think that, oh, damn, bro, gonna drown trying to get water? Talk about thirsty. Ahaha, dad joke of the year. Excuse me. I think that there was an attempt to throw a lot of mechanics into the game. I don't think it was just those things and see what sticks. I think there was an attempt and a vision for it. I just don't think the vision was executed 100% around the board. So I'll give you two concrete examples, right? One, you can steal things in this game, right? Similar to how in Red Dead 2, you were able to steal things. At least in Red Dead 2, you had to put on a bandana because if you stole something and you were seen, the game would send out, you know, a witness would run around and he would go and tell people, oh, you stole something. I'm gonna go get the sheriff or the, you know, the police basically. In this game, you can't. You can't steal something until you pick up a mask. Meaning like physically, the button prompt will appear, but until you get one of these on, until you get one of these black masks or any kind of variant of this, you can't actually go and steal something from anywhere. Any lockbox that's unattended, any food store item that's unattended. If there's nobody in the room and it's just you, you still can't steal it. I'm not exactly sure what the logic is behind that. Like from just a logic train perspective. If nobody's in the room, there's nobody looking at me, why would I need to be able to not, why can't I steal, basically, right, is the idea. I think that the thing about this game is that it's trying to apply a lot of different mechanics, but they're not fleshed out 100%. There's another mechanic where you learn things in the game, right? As you're running around, fighting people, bandits, witnessing different things that are occurring. For example, I spent some time fishing, right? You can learn these different things by observing other people do them. This dude, Cliff, is a gray mane warrior. He's been around the block, and presumably he's an old, not old, but he's a grown adult man. I have to sit here and learn about things like hammering with a mallet, like hammering a stake into the floor to create a post, like one of these fence posts pretty much. I'm not sure if I believe that Cliff, the gray mane warrior, has never known how to hammer a stake or a post into the ground to be able to set up a fence. That doesn't seem like the type of thing that you wouldn't encounter or observe over, I don't know, 30 years of life, maybe, if we're guessing his age here. I'm not certain what the thought process is about that either. I think that learning has to do with things like body slamming and the suplex that we've seen in trailers and things like that, but I'm not seeing that for the more basic things. Even fishing, I feel like fishing doesn't have to be a learned skill. I feel like fishing is a thing that you watch somebody do and then you can do it yourself, but I don't know if the player had to be the one to teach Cliff how to fish. But maybe I'm just wrong and off about that. Maybe that's part of the charm of the game. But either way, the consensus around the game is pretty split. I think that the game is gorgeous, no argument at all there. I think that this game is a slow approach type of game. You're not blasting through this, and if you do, you're probably going to frustrate yourself or burn out rather quickly. And I think that the controls leave something to be desired. Whoever idea it was to make the run button and the, sorry, not the run button, the jump button and the catch button, for example, like the button where you pick up items, the same button, so for PlayStation is square. What were you thinking? I mean, the game is great as far as like you can get a lot of enjoyment out of it, but it's these little things that make us go, can I not remap that? Does it have to be the same button? Like jumping on square, fine, I'm okay with that. But I look goofy trying to catch an insect running by, and all I'm doing is jumping because the prompt is trying to be super contextual and make it like, oh, we know what you're trying to do. You're trying to pick up this grasshopper. No, you don't, because I keep pressing square and you keep making me jump. Now I'm just out here looking goofy as hell, running around jumping in front of bugs. I don't know, but either way, it's leaves something to be desired, to say the least. So this game is going to be for people who like getting lost, not for people who need momentum. I think if you're a player that needs a lot of momentum to get into a game or keep pushing through a game, this game's not it. The momentum for most games comes from story, narrative. It comes from being competitive multiplayer games, right? So one game to the next game to the next game, best of threes, best of fives. I don't think this game provides any sense of momentum outside of doing the story. And I'm not super deep in the story, so I don't want to give a super hard critique of that yet. But I will say that it's not particularly engaging. It's a great setup for a sandbox. But if you're expecting a God of War Ragnarok story, I don't think this is it. I think that this game is just a setup for you to be Cliff out in the sandbox world. And then from there, kind of leverage your own adventures. It's like a little bit of an ad lib, a little bit of an ad lib if you're old enough to remember what those are, as far as what kind of story you make for yourself and what your Cliff will do in the world, you know, of Pyloon. So it's up to you. The verdict for me is that since I'm really in a super early game, I could just be hitting that new player wall at the moment. I feel like it's a game that will reward you if you spend a good amount of time really chugging along and getting used to the systems, getting acquainted with what's happening. And I think that the game is not over for me yet. I think I'm still going to keep playing it. I'm going to give it a good, honest effort, the good old college try, and we'll see where things land. I don't think I'll end up returning it or refunding or anything like that. I think I'm going to give it the old college try, and I've been looking forward to this game for such a long time. It'd be a shame just to play a couple hours and go, nah, it's not for me. But it might be. It might not be for me, but I'll find out as I play. So be on the lookout for further videos and different parts of the game I'm going to put out to see what my adventure looks like. I'm already posting on Twitter a little bit, posting on Reddit a little bit about some of my adventures. So follow me there, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you're not, welcome back, pimp. But yeah, that'll be all for me. For now, I'm going to get back to slicing and dicing and running around this game doing God knows what. So, as always, be blessed, never stressed, packing, never lacking, good, never hood, be about it and never without it, and I will catch you on the flip side. This is Big Cherry, signing out. Peace.
That's life.
That's life.
That's what all the people say.